You cannot throw magic and cover your tracks. You cannot throw evil intentions and hide your hands. Who are you hiding from? Me? Okay. Well, my spirits can see you. The universe never sleeps. Anything you connect to me will connect back to you. You can't hide your energetic print, especially when it comes to a chosen one.
Now booking only on standstill.
Hello, my beautiful lovelies. Welcome back to yet another pick a card reading on the channel. This one's going to be interesting. This is going to be about the stalker ex-friend that is now obsessed with you. In fact, they've always been. You just are now beginning to experience it, or you're coming into the knowledge, maybe even just through this video. But we're about to get into this. We're going to do something a little bit different. This is going to be a collective message, but there will be a pick a card after. So I'm going to tap into, I'm real tapped into the guides, the downloads right now, and I'm just listening, and we're going to do things a little bit different with this pick a card. And so I'm going to go down a list of energetic words to see if you are going to even resonate with this energy. First, I'm going to light some sweetgrass to just invite the ancestors in. Thank you, ancestors. I ask you to guide and navigate me through this reading for the collective, for those that need it. Thank you. I work with my ancestors when I'm delivering messages, okay? And my guides, my mentors, my spirits, all right? So that was a little offering for them because this is going to be an intense collective reading. Now, I'm gonna go down some energetic words to see if you are going to resonate with it. And then we're gonna get into the collective message. And then there'll be a pick a card that will act as if a extension to this reading, okay? So this is a stalker ex-friend, now obsessed. There's obsessive energy here in this story because that's what the tarot is. It is a story that unfolds and lets us know the things that we can learn from this story. You know, there'll be a deep lesson in all three of these collectives that I'm dropping. But this is about like an obsessive energy, right? Someone who kind of stalks you. But really, this is a story of how destiny swapping is not real. So destiny swapping energy is going to be something that you resonate with. You either feel as though this person was trying to swap destinies with you, or they did, or you feel like they're trying to right now. That is going to be like a very particular, like that's what the story is about that we're getting into. It's about someone trying to take your destiny. But the thing that you need to hold on to throughout this reading and like throughout life is that destiny is swapping is not real. Okay. Now I'm going to go down a list of words to see if you further resonate with the energy that we're about to get into. Your shine. Okay. Your shine, you shining has a lot to do with this obsession. Okay. And why this person is an ex-friend. Your shine, the attention and praise that you get from other people, whether it be men, whether it be strangers, okay, from family members. Copying. So copying is going to be a big thing. This is someone who copies you. Obviously, we're talking about destiny swapping. All right. Someone that imitates you, mimics you, stealing things that cannot be stolen. Okay. Is a big thing. So your personality, spiritual practices, this could even be like your creativity, your ideas. We're going to get into it. We're going to unpack this all. Okay. Being read. So this is somebody that's constantly wanting to know what's going on in your life, wanting to know your thoughts, wanting to know your perspective. They could pull cards on you, get readings from you, watching readings about you. Like I had, one of my sisters had told me, the sister that I lived with, she was like, one time she had told me that she was reading the relationship that I was in. She wanted to know what was going on, and she pulled cards on me and the guy that I was dating. And so it's like, this person is pulling cards on your personal life. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to learn tarot and I'm pulling cards to like understand how tarot works. It's, I'm being nosy. I need to know information on this person. Sharing knowledge or ideas, okay, is a big factor. This would be somebody that you share a lot of ideas with, your creativity with, reaching out or reaching a certain point in life and then noticing a switch in the dynamic of the relationship or behavior. So you will have accomplished something or something really good happens, your status moves up, you start elevating, and the dynamic of this relationship shifts like instantly. Okay. We have jealous looks, secrets, gaslighting, your personality, the stuff that isn't seen is a big part of this story. Creativity and goals, like your current goals, and fear. Okay. Fear. Also smear campaign. So this would be someone, they're an ex-friend, right? They're a stalker now, but they're also smearing your character. They're telling lies about you, making sure that there's this hate campaign going around, that everybody has this perspective of you that is not true. Okay. So we're about to get into this, but I do want to say that this energy is really confusing. And some of you guys might be feeling as though maybe you should resolve things. Some of these people will be reaching out. They have reached out. They're connecting to you psychically. And it's confusing because with these types of obsessive relationships, usually they start off with bombing. And so this is like kind of telling me that this person would probably like buy you a lot of things, take you out, or just like praise you. And there was a strong connection and bond between you and this person. And on your end, it was very authentic. It was very like genuine, and you really loved. There was a lot of good times in this relationship, but it's also really confusing because how it ended and how things started to change. I mentioned the relationship, the dynamic of it switching when you begin to elevate and evolve and change for the better. And it could be really confusing because you would want this person that seems like they are about you, in a really good way, to be happy for you. And so I feel like a lot of you guys, which is like, I'm being called already to get into the cards. This card says, I don't have fear. My fear I can use it in a way to get closer to love. And the big message with all three of these collectives that I'm getting into is about expressing yourself. Your reading is going to be a little bit different than the other ones that I have, but this is about speaking your truth and not being afraid to be who you are. When somebody tries, because it's not real, when somebody tries to take your destiny, it can make you feel like, well, that's mine. How am I supposed to be? And so a part of like, you know, one of the collectives was that they had to speak their truth, to kind of clear their energy, right? To get rid of that fear, to speak upon it. Yours is going to be about tapping into who you are. It's not real. They can't beat you. They can't steal your ideas. They can't steal your creativity. And so instead of like being fearful, use that fear to just express yourself on how you're feeling, how you're dressing, how you want to show up with your personality. Use that fear to tap into who you really are, to express yourself, to do the things that make you you, okay? And I promise you, the more that you tap into yourself and not this person that is fake, probably doesn't know themselves, and that's really what they're mad about. They're stalking you. They're an ex-friend. After this video, after we really get down to what the message is that Spirit wants you to take away from this, I want you to just tap into yourself. Don't run away from your creativity. Don't run away from your expression. Don't run away from the fun things that you love to enjoy. Okay? This person wants you out of the spotlight. You know, they don't like you shining because they want to shine. So when when this energy happens, they want to take that spot. They can't even fulfill that spot, quite honestly. So don't stop being you, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're going to get into the cards. Let's get into it. So you either know that this reading is going to be for you or not by what I just said. All right, let's get into the cards. All right, let's get into this collective message. Let's get into it. Forgive me and my very rough fingernails. I just took them off, my nails. So I feel nubby. They are, you know, I need to sit down and do a set. Put my magic into a set of nails. Okay, so we're going to get into this collective message. But this is our candle. You know, I'm being very instructed by Spirit, by my guides, by my team to help the collective with this evil eye energy that is coming from all different sources. So a lot of these readings I feel that I'm channeling and getting into is more on a negative side. If we wanted to say negative or positive, of course I'm going to give you a positive message, uplift you guys, and give you what you guys need. But the energy right now in the collective is just real icky. And so I need to do my part in ridding the evil eye energy. And so this month of June, we are working on ridding evil eye. This is our containment spell that we did on the last live. And it's working so well. We have wax right here on the jar, which indicates that the spell is working, because when you see wax on the jar like this is indicating that there's still energy to be worked with, which is letting me know that this candle is doing what we set out to do. We wanted to contain this energy. And I posted a video yesterday about some confirmation. A lot of you guys should be seeing the confirmation from this spell that we did. You're either hearing it, seeing it, feeling it, definitely. And in these later weeks, you're going to be seeing a physical manifestation of this containment spell. Now, next week, we're getting into this jinx removal hoodoo ritual to remove this evil eye from our beautiful lives. This evil eye that we contained, we are sending it back to them with just. Okay, so whatever that they wanted for us to happen is basically what they're going to happen, what they're going to receive. They're going to receive their own energy. Okay, this isn't ours, this is theirs, and we're sending it back. Okay, so these two candles work together. If you want to be included with this evil eye containment spell that we did, just watch the last live, exposing your enemies. Okay, there's a bonus spell. This was very like intuitively led, spontaneous. I had already planned to do this one, but Spirit was like, do this one, right? So if you want to be included, just watch it and participate and imprint on this candle, and do the ritual that we did in that live. Now on June 13th, we're getting together to do a hoodoo ritual, to remove all curses, hexes, evil eye energy, spiritual blockages, to make way for success. Okay. So tap in if you feel interested. Check out the stand store to make your offering to the candle, to the ritual. That seals in your energy, okay, and gives you energetic priority over this candle and ritual. And when you join the ritual, make sure to check your email, because you will get specific instructions from me that you must do before you do the ritual. And you will also have to fill out some, an explanation, because whatever you write when you join, whatever you write in that drop down text box, I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be working this candle. I've been working this one for the last 6 days. I'm going to do it for probably another 5 or 6 days. And this one I'm going to be working for another 11 days. This is happening on June 13th. So if you feel called to, tap in, okay? Because we're getting into it, okay? So now we're going to get into this collective message. Tap in if you guys feel called to, okay? So let's see. Let's get some cards down on the table. Now, this is going to be about the stalker ex-friend now obsessed with you. And I did mention in the intro that they have always been obsessed. You're just now becoming very like hyper aware of this very weird, kind of terrifying energy, this obsessive energy. I think when it first started out, it was very innocent. Right? It was very innocent. This is a person though, because this is really a story. This is a story and a lesson for you that destiny swapping is not real. I know this is something that's going around in the collective. It's something that I've been meditating on. I do want to go in depth about this, and I will, but Spirit specifically told me to put a lot of this energy into this reading, on destiny swapping, okay? And that it's not real. No one can really take what you are meant to embody, what you are meant to create in the world, okay? No matter what happens, no matter what, however this story unfolds for you, it doesn't matter. This person cannot be you. They cannot, live vicariously through you. They cannot have what is meant for you unless they are meant to have it too. Their own version of whatever that is. They cannot steal your ideas, especially if those ideas are connected to purpose. We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of like creative ventures and everything. But if this is more, when we're talking about destiny, we're talking about purpose. This is something that you were brought to do here on the planet for the collective. No matter what it is. No matter what it is, okay? You were meant to be who you are, to do the things that you are doing, to be a ripple in the universe. So it doesn't matter how big or how little these things that this person is trying to steal from you. And in the intro, I said these are things that cannot be stolen. So personality, spiritual practices, creative ideas, businesses that is connected to your purpose and not necessarily theirs. They cannot steal that from you. when we're talking about destiny, we're talking about purpose. You have to hold a certain frequency, a certain vibration to embody that and to keep it going. So a lot, even if it does look on the outside right now, in the external energy, that it looks like they're embodying you, trying to be you, trying to take what really can't be stolen from you, they're not able to uphold that energy. In fact, it could really destroy them. Okay, so this is more about understanding that when we throw that word destiny and purpose into the picture, that means that this is not theirs. They can't. Even if they try, they might even hurt themselves. They might even hurt themselves trying to steal this shit from you. Okay? And when you're copying someone's personality, spiritual practices, their activities that they're doing in their life, let's just look at it at that point, okay? At that perspective, and how that can hurt them. They lose their true identity, because eventually they're going to wake up and they're going to realize that they don't know who they are, okay? And so, like I said in the intro, it is so important for you to continue to be yourself, because what this is, when it becomes when they become a obsessed karmic, and try to control reality, control you through their karmic behavior, because everybody to some degree is a karmic, and I'll talk on that in a moment. But this is very abusive. This type of very manipulative, abusive, and what they're doing to you, because it makes you feel like, what? This is being taken from me. Like, I feel kind of like an identity, because when it was happening to me, it got to a point, like, because when it first started out, it felt very innocent. I was very aware that this person was a karmic, because like I said, all of us at some point is a karmic. We're trying to learn through the divine. There's the divine energy that's fully activated in their divine. They're connected to spirit, connected to purpose. You know, they lead with inspiration and intuitive expression. Okay? The karmic is inspired, but it can really change, very toxic and harmful for you, for the people around them and for themselves, when it becomes obsessive, okay? And when they start to lose their own identity. And a lot of them get drunk off of this power, right? And so they try to control the narrative. Some of them try to control narratives, control reality, because a lot of these people are jealous. It can turn to jealousy. Inspiration, when you're so obsessed and stuck on, you know, maybe disliking yourself. I think that, because what I'm really channeling right now is like a really old video that I watched of Real Talk with Yanni. She was talking about this karmic and divine energy. And karmics start off very inspired because they want to learn from the divine. Okay, so you are showing up as a divine to this person. You're a divine figure that knows themselves, kind of connected to spirit, connected to your team, whether you do it subconsciously or consciously, okay? And they know that you know something. They know that you know something, you know how to lead, okay, in some type of way. A lot of people look to you. And so they're trying to become the divine. They're trying to step out of that karmic energy. And when it becomes obsessive and then it turns to jealousy, when there's a lot of self-hate rooted in that karmic person, it could become jealousy, and it could become toxic, and it can become obsessive, where they are trying to gain power over the world, seeing them as you. Okay? So, let's just get some cards. I want to get some cards here down for the collective message. Okay, Spirit. Okay, let's chill, Spirit. Let's chill. A little bit too much. Not too much, Spirit. Okay. So, but what I was really feeling is like, you know, in the beginning, I think with this person, you felt like it was very innocent at one point. Like, you know, because it was with me, I saw this person as innocent for a long time. I was very aware that they were trying to find themselves and try to find a sense of self, trying to understand the world, trying to understand their own path. And like I said, a lot of people do this. They look to other people that, you know, seem to know what's going on for themselves to learn how to find that energy within themselves. So I saw that in this person, my sister, Mariah, the one that I had my candle business with. And at first it was really innocent, you know, and then it got to a point towards the end, like years later, it felt like I couldn't be me. Like it felt like, because a lot of these incidents, and what I'm feeling for you is that this could be a situation where this person is really, they, in their mind, merges with you. They merge their identity with your identity. So it's like everything that you're doing, they're doing. Everything that you find interest in, they're finding interest in. I remember when I first got to this, and there's so many gnats. There's like 2 or 3 gnats in here. They're so annoying. But I remember when I first got to this new town that I moved here, you know, in the Pacific Northwest, I had a clean slate, right? And I was like really trying to deepen my practice of spirituality. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get my altar together. I'm going to start putting my altar together, right? And I was like, you know what? I want a vintage vanity. I really want a vintage vanity. And so I was like, you know, my sister, she was like my best friend. She's my oldest sister. And she was kind of like a mother figure to me in my life. And so we're extremely close. Okay. On my end, it was very genuine and real. A lot of what has happened in our relationship, I saw it as like, this is my big sister. You know, maybe we're at 2 different phases in life, you know, but she's my big sister, and like the things that she does for me, and, you know, it's because she loves me and she is my big sister. And so like when she would do these things, it just felt like, okay, she, you know, we just have this really close relationship, and I know this certain thing about her, like she's trying to figure out herself, you know. And this is when I started to really notice it, and it started to get to me, was when I was trying to get my altar together, and I decided that I was going to get like a vintage vanity, right? Because at one point back in the day, years ago, I had a really nice vintage vanity, and I was like, you know, I want to turn that into like an altar. And she was like, yeah, I want one too. So I was like, oh, okay. We ended up getting these 2 vintage vanities, you know, and it came around to me like I was going to restore it. So I went to restore it, and I quickly realized, like, you know what, I'm not about this shit. I'm not about like restoring it. I think I'm not going to make this a big deal. I'm going to take the mirror that comes with the vanity, and I'm just going to get a slab of wood, and I'm going to get like, you know, and just create an altar myself with like some wood, right? And so you guys, if you see my Instagram, you see what my altar used to look like. Why did she do the same exact shit? She was like, you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do too. So she copied the way that my altar looked. And this is when it really started to become like, I became hyper aware of it. And it was kind of like irritating, because as something that is so intimate with spirit as an altar space, that's, you know, it felt like, can I have anything that's mine, you know? And then so much kind of like happened after that. So you could feel like this person is copying very serious things like spiritual practices, You know, like I remember whenever I was like, you know, getting into like maybe talking to a guy, dating a guy, then she was trying to do it. But if I was single, then she was single. It was just, it got to a point that my life felt like it was being mirrored, and it was very weird. It made me feel very uncomfortable. So you could be getting to a very uncomfortable space with this person where you feel like this person is copying like these really big and intimate things about you, you know? And it just was like about everything. It was just, you know, I mentioned in the intro that this person wants to know everything about your life, about your perspective. You know, they could be very obsessed with your romantic life. And when they are not getting this information from you, when you're cutting off access to these certain areas in your life, because with me, with this situation, I cut off my spiritual practices. I kept that very private. I wrote down secrets for the intro. So it's like you could have felt like you had to keep your identity a secret. Certain things that you were doing, you had to keep a secret. You know, it got to a point where my guides were telling me not to tell anyone about my romantic relationship. And then I saw how the dynamic began to change. So you could be cutting yourself off from letting this person know certain things about your life that you feel you hold dear, like to your identity and your, you know, your relationships with God, or just like, you know, relationships that you hold dear to you, you know, and you will see that this would make this person react. The dynamic would quickly shift and change. And you would notice the jealousy. The jealousy would be heightened around this time when you're not giving access to this person with things that you don't necessarily have to tell anybody about. You don't have to tell anyone about what you do with spirit, your rituals, your spiritual practices, what you do when you're alone. You don't have to tell anybody about your relationship, but this person has a problem with not knowing what's going on in your life. And it's because they need to know how to respond in life. They need to know how to show up in life. Instead of being alone, this person might, you know, have a issue with being alone, being like in an alone, like a silent room. I'm seeing someone sitting in a room alone, silent, just with themselves, and they might struggle with that. Because that's when spirit begins to talk to you. When you're alone and you shut everybody out and you know, you either welcome it or you don't, you know, or it comes barging in. Spirit will come barging in if you ignore the call, if you ignore what the changes that you need to take. And I feel like this is what is happening to this person. And why? Because we have the Tower and we have the Ten of Wands. It got to be too much on both ends, but in two different types of energies. Like for you, I feel like you got to a point where like you just did not even know how to figure out what to do with this energy, because it's not just about this person copying and mimicking you. It got very serious with the whole destiny thing, right? Purpose. When I look back at this as I reflect, because I do, you know, don't leave a Virgo alone. Don't leave a Virgo, like an evolved Virgo, alone, because they're going to sit and they're going to analyze and they're going to, like, you know, figure it all out. Okay. When I look back on this whole, like, situation, right, I realize that I want to stay on topic and I want this to go in a flow. But I look back and I realize, because it's not very much about, okay, Spirit, thank you. It's not too much about being copied, you know, with the little things or even just like an altar. It's about the taking and not giving credit. This person, for a lot of you guys, have taken ideas, taken creativity, like that's how you would interpret it. And I'm here to tell you that they cannot take your creativity. You know, they can lie to themselves, they can lie to the world, you know, to whoever, and not give you credit for what you've done, you know, whether it be like, you know, I'm hearing social media, I'm hearing business ideas, I'm hearing, you know, just self-expression. You know, there's a lot of like copying and taking ideas as if like this is yours, this is something that you came up with. And what I'm really getting at personally for me, it was my business that I had with her, you know, that we shared. From the very start, this was my idea. That was my idea. In the family betrayal video, I had spoken about, you know, sitting at the altar of one of my guides and asking and getting specific instructions. I was the one that sat down at the altar and asked my guides on what I was supposed to do. And I got clear instruction on what I was supposed to do. And I made the mistake because I see it now. And I know Spirit tells me that, you know, a lot of these things that you guys might have shared with this person, I don't want you to see it as it was a mistake and it's dooms, gloom, and it's over and you failed and you lost, because that's not how destiny works. There's a lesson here. And if you can fully integrate what you gave to this person, what you shared, and what actually happened between you and this person, you're going to come out of this elevated. If you can subscribe to the belief that purpose is something that cannot be given away to somebody that is not meant to walk that path, that they might have been inspired by it and ran with it. Because I was going to say that I made the mistake of sitting down and talking about my ideas, sharing my concepts, sharing my designs. You know, that business was my concept. That business was my designs. I sat down, and there's no gaslighting, no lies that anybody can say that's going to make me believe that I didn't sit down at a fucking computer for months and come up with the designs that we launched with. You know, you could have been really pouring a lot into yourself, into certain ideas, into your social media, into your creative ventures. And it seems like this person is coming in and trying to take what that is and not giving you credit. You might feel pushed out of something if you did share something with this person. Okay? And you feel stolen from. And so I do want to say that even though you might feel like, oh, I should have never let them in on my life, on my ideas, on my creativity, there is no way that this person can walk that path unless they are destined to do it. And like I said in the intro, you cannot give up on your goals. You can't give up on the way that you express yourself. You cannot give up on your ideas, on your creative expression. And when I say that you are going to come out of this elevated, because that's really the message for all three of these big collectives that I'm dropping, is that there's some really intense, icky fucking energy in the collective, but this isn't meant to destroy you. You know what I mean? This is meant for you to rise. If I look at this situation, when I sat at the altar, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I really did not know how I was going to do it when Spirit told me to make spiritual tools. But that's the message that I got. You know, and I sat there and she asked me, well, what are you going to do when you get settled in your, in your place? I told her, oh, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make spiritual tools. I'm going to make candles. I'm going to make oils. Da, 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 da. And she, oh, that's what I plan to do. And being the, you know, the naive little sister that's in poverty, homeless, sleeping on her floor, but have a gold mine of fucking ideas in my bag, right? In my baddie bag. Spiritual baddie bag. I'm sitting on gold, okay? The naive person of me is like, oh yeah, let's do it together. So, you know, I spoke about this in a one reading that's coming up really hard for me right now is, what is that? I think it's like another evil eye. It's an evil eye reading that I did last summer. And I talked about Drake in that reading on how Drake does this with his budding artists. He finds budding artists that don't have the money. They might have the genius ideas. And he destiny swaps with them. He takes their fucking flow. He takes their fucking, you know, their swag. And then he gets elevated off of it. Right? It feels something like that for some of you guys. Some of you guys, because that was my story. That was my story. And so what I want to also say is that money is not power. Money is a currency. Money is an energy. Money can generate the energy of power within you, right? But money does not trump over God-given creativity and downloads from spirit. It does not trump over that. You can have all the fucking money that you want, but if you don't have the ideas, what necessarily are you gonna fucking do? If you don't got the fucking juice, what are you gonna do? That's how you need to look at this person. This person is not going to be able to uphold whatever that you brought to the table. Whatever you showed them, whatever they're copying, whatever they're trying to take from you, they're gonna fall on their fucking face. Because it really wasn't meant for them. And so, like I was trying to get to saying is that, what I was trying to get to saying is that, you know, this is meant to elevate you, because I was naive. I went into this. I didn't know how I was going to do this. So, and again, in the betrayal video, I talk about one of the pick of cards in that video. I talked about like going with the flow and just accepting and like moving with spirit. And, you know, my guides revealed to me that in my own situation, this was just a part of the plan. Because leaving that business, I'm no longer involved in that business. I am not affiliated with that shit because of ethical reasons. Because, you know, that business was also behind it was a very personal family relationship that was dysfunctional and abusive. So it didn't make sense for me to stay where I was and continue to sell spiritual products with a person that I felt needs serious help. Needs God. Just gonna keep it real. That's why when I was doing the rituals a year ago, I was like, hey, I'm not, you know, we're shutting down. Whether she wanted to cooperate or not, we need to work on our relationship. We can't be doing this. We can't be selling products when our relationship is, you know, the way that it is. We got to get to a good point. Now that time has passed, clearly I'm making this video, you know, but it was unethical. So it was always part of the plan. This relationship has failed. A lot of you guys are just like, you know, because I mentioned in the intro, like feeling sad, you know, feeling sad about this connection because there was really some good times within that connection, right? And I'm hearing that song again from House. That's going to be the song, one of the songs that we connect to with this jinx removal ritual. House by Beyonce, where she's like, I will always love you, but I will never expect you to love me when you don't love yourself. And that's what this is. This person, it's becoming very toxic. And so it's important for you to understand that you know, it's important for you to understand that you might love this person, you might have had a lot of good memories, but it's past the point of fixing it. It's become untrustworthy. It's become unstable. You know what I mean? We have the Tower here. There's a lot of shadow work that this person has to do. So when you go over in your head thinking if you should go back to this person or if you should answer them or, you know, try to fix things, I don't think you should. They need to fix themselves. They need to spend the years doing shadow work on themselves, you know, because some of this being stolen from, like taking creative ideas, saying that you did nothing, I'm not going to give you credit for something that you clearly came up with, that you clearly poured all of your creativity into, even especially when it's something like that. And it's so, like, some of you guys, these creative ideas, it's so personal because entrepreneurism, especially if you have children or family to take care of, like, I'm doing all of this shit for my kids. I was sleeping on the damn floor. Right? So when I digged up in my baddie bag and pulled out fucking genius ideas, it was for my babies. So I feel very taken from. I feel very stolen. And not just me getting stolen from, but you're taking from my kids. When I pour all of what I have into something, it's for them. It's for their future. And that's what I saw it for. And it's going to be for their future. Because, like, the message here is that destiny swapping isn't real. They didn't take shit. And again, what I'm trying to get to, because Spirit knows that you're kind of emotionally, you know, you got to get back. You got to get into your anger. You got to see how serious this shit is. Your identity is serious. Your spiritual practices are serious. Your creative ideas are serious. And there's a lot of weird shit. Some of you guys, it's gotten really weird. To the point that it's not love. This is not love. When you're reading and wanting to know everything about this person, you know, switching up, you know, when you're elevating, it's not love. So we need to just kind of move away from that energy. This is not about restoring something with this stalker. Yeah, they're stalking you because they don't know what to do with their own life. Okay? And so what I'm trying to get to is that you're going to come out of this elevated and more successful if you can look at it. Because, you know, some of you guys are more wiser leaving this relationship. You have the tools. Because when I started, I didn't know what to fucking do. I didn't know how to do it. So you have learned along the way. And it's not over. With this 10 of Wands, like the 10 of Wands, this is telling you that it's not over. You're almost there. Do not give up. And in the intro, I was telling you, like, continue to be. This is what this person wants. Wants you out the spotlight. Wants you to give up on your goals. Wants you to give up. You're the one that has the power and the energy to carry this to the finish line. They do not. That's why it never, whatever it is, they don't know how to do it properly, efficiently. You can. So don't be stuck on what the fuck they're doing. Stick to your shit. Okay? This is about letting whatever that was, whether it's a business, whether it's a relationship, whether it be something like, you know, whatever it is, let it crash and burn because it was built on a foundation that had a lot of cracks in it. Damaged. What am I seeing? I'm seeing like biomutant. I'm seeing biomutant, and it's like the soil is toxic. The land is toxic. There's nothing growing there. That's why it didn't grow it only grew to a certain point. Because it was people involved, this relationship only went to a certain point because it was toxic. It was never meant to be successful with their energy. Never. It couldn't be. And it wasn't for them. They didn't get that download. They were just, you know, following suit. That's what was happening. So you need to continue to do you. You need to continue to follow your path and express yourself. This person doesn't want you in the spotlight. They want you, like, you know, this tactic of copying and gaslighting and stealing things that really can't be stolen. That is a manipulative, psychic, energetic mind control. Is what I'm getting at. I know I'm saying a lot of words here, but it's like mind control on the collective, like on the world that's viewing them, and on you to see them like you. They want you to believe that whatever it is that they're doing, it's theirs and it's not yours. And this is who I am. It's not really you. I'm taking this identity. I'm taking this business. I'm taking these ideas. They would literally, like, she told me she created all the designs. I was blown away. I stopped. When I had that argument with her. I got into this argument with her, trying to clear things up. I gave her time to really come to her senses. And she literally told me that I did not create these candles. And from that point, from that argument, because I know you're fucking watching me, from that point, I was out, hun. I was like, okay, she's a narcissist. She's crazy. I'm out. SpongeBob. Okay, I'm heading out. That's what it was. From that point, I knew that it was like I wasn't going to get anywhere. And, you know, a lot of this was happening. All this shit was happening when I was going through the miscarriages. And this person could be saying crazy ass shit to you. Because in that argument, she was like, because again, there's just so much to this story and I don't want to keep it. There's a lot to destiny swapping, and like I said, I will probably make another video about it. But the main video, and it will probably be revealed in the pick a card section of this video. Thank you, Spirit. But the collective message is that you have to continue what you were meant to do. So if you are a person that practices yoga, don't slow down on your yoga practice because you feel like this every time you pick up the yoga mat, this person's getting to theirs. It becomes irritating. You're becoming irritated. Like, can I be me? Can you be you? And a lot of these people, how they try to finish the destiny swapping is that they get into your head, they get into the head of everybody else and make everybody believe, and even try to make you believe that they are you. And so with that mind control tactic, then you start not acting like yourself. So the message here is to be yourself. Don't worry about them. They ain't gonna fucking be able to hold that up. Be yourself. Continue to express yourself. Continue to work on your creative ideas. Know that from this experience, you are way fucking more wiser. You got way more resources, and it's your creativity never stops. It's ever flowing. Okay? So continue to express yourself. Continue to show up. And yes, let's have discernment with our ideas, with our creativity. It's a big lesson here, but also sometimes sharing will get you, to a point where you know exactly what to do now. Okay, so I will see you guys in the pick a card. We're gonna go deeper into this in the pick a card section. All right. I don't want to get too much. I'm getting too hyped up in this bitch. So I'll see you guys in the pick a card. Alrighty, we're gonna dive into the pick a card section of this video. We're going to connect to these words here. We do words over here on this side of YouTube. Okay. We did this with the family betrayal backfire video, and I really loved it. So we're gonna connect to these words. Go ahead and connect to the word that is resonating with you. Reading number 1 is next. Reading number 2 is group. Reading number 3 is me. So this pick a card is going to go deeper into what you should do about this situation. We know as a collective, we need to continue to be ourselves, continue to pour into our goals, into our dreams, to show up authentically as ourselves. Do not stop your shine. Like, just continue to be you, because this is what these people want. They want you to end you this way. They want to believe that they try to believe themselves, especially the ones that lose themselves, that, you know, they're you. They want you to believe that as well. Okay. So let's go into next. I hope you guys chose. By now you guys should have chose. We're going to go into the word next, reading number 1. Okay. Put these over here. And there's a gnat. There's like a gnat or 2 in here, of course, and they're probably in the chat, to be real, keep it real with y'all. But we don't care about that, because, you know, these flies, these gnats, they're attracted to not shit, but sugar. And I got my trap out. And that really speaks to your energy is what I really want to say, because that, like, I had to go and make a trap for these little gnats that are bothering me. And I should get that plug that you plug into the wall. I need to get one of those. But so they can be zapped, and, you know, does it zap them? I don't know. But I had to go make a trap. And so I feel like that is going to be speaking to your energy. There's some type of trapping kind of energy. Oh my God. Okay. Besides the fucking spell that we did, the containment spell, because we did trap this evil eye energy on Wednesday. So some of you guys, these are your gnats showing up, to be honest. You need to go do the spell that we did last Thursday, the live, exposing your enemies. We did a containment spell. Okay, lock in. But besides that, I feel like there's a trapping energy for you. There's something about, like, not falling into their trap, because there's a lot of manipulative kind of energy when it comes to these types of people that have no identity, or at least they don't try to find themselves and develop an identity. You know, there's a lot of manipulative and weird tactics and gaslighting that these people do, because they don't, like, it's like they want you to believe, but they don't want you to speak upon it. They don't want you to speak upon it as fact. They want you to believe that that they are you, and what you've done, your abilities, the things that they should be giving credit to you. They want to give it to themselves. You know, they want you to believe that, you know, what you do is really theirs. They're going to take credit for that. Or they want you to believe that they have the same style. They're just, like, similar to you. They want you to believe that, but it's not true, right? And so even when you address certain things, they're going to gaslight you. They're going to make you feel like you're going crazy, you know? And there's some type of trapping energy, not getting trapped up in it, because this word next makes me feel like it's like on to the next. And, you know, I left off on the reading. I didn't want to get too deep because I felt like I was tapping into more energies that might be individual, right? So I left off on the collective message about kind of like an argument that I had with my sister. And it was during a time where, like, our personal relationship was at its worst. And I was really trying so hard because, again, she was my best friend. And I love her dearly, you know. And I wanted to fix things. I wanted us to continue to do what we were doing in our business, because what I felt that we built together was amazing. It's genius. But I was the genius mind behind it. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100. Okay? I'm going to keep it real. All because you don't want to keep it real with yourself, I'm going to be real about it. Those were my ideas, right? So I was trying to get on the same page with her about what was going on. What was this change in switch in the dynamic of our relationship and her behavior towards me? I didn't understand it, right? Because I mentioned in the intro, you know, with the collective energy, that whenever you were rising to the top, right, or elevating, or certain things that were happening, maybe even getting shine, attention, praise, you know, this person's, the dynamic of the relationship would change. And I was trying to get her to see herself. I was trying to get her to understand, or even also just understand her, but we got to be real. If this is something that we're going to fix, something that we're going to like heal through, you got to be real. I see you regardless because of what I do for a living. We're going to see you regardless. So there's no gaslighting, there's no lying, you know, you might as well just be transparent. And I was trying to be real with her, right? So that we can fix our things. And there was a lot of manipulative energy. It was a lot of like trying to make me feel bad about not being able to work, not being able to show up to our business to do the things that, you know, that we needed to do. Why she wasn't doing it, I don't know. I do know. But I know why I couldn't show up. I was healing from miscarriages from back to back. I had 3 miscarriages that year. I took off from doing tarot readings. You know, the only thing that I was doing was I wasn't doing nothing. All my income was coming from my pre-recorded videos that I had already recorded and from my OnlyAms. I took off and I had to heal. What she was doing during that time, I don't know. But then it comes up that there's all these orders that are not being packed and sent out. And that's my fault. When one, you didn't have a job, she didn't have a job, she wasn't working, all she had to do was show up for Good Ritual. And her excuse was that she was depressed because she felt replaced by my man. And this was my fault that I couldn't get to what I was doing. I thought it was self-explanatory. She saw me there crying. She saw me there healing physically and emotionally through this traumatic experience. Anybody that has had a miscarriage knows what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't think I need to explain that to any woman, let alone my sister that was there while I was healing. So it was like all this, like, I feel like this situation, this person could be trying to manipulate things, trying to twist things, don't want to tell the truth, don't want other people to know really what it is, you know, trying to blame you, right? And it got to a point where I was just like, I gotta step back. I don't know what this is, you know what I mean? And that's when the gaslighting started, where she said a lot of things about what I feel to be is my destiny, right? The things that I poured in, creative energy that I poured into what I believe is my destiny. And so you might be having conversations with this person where it feels like they are trying to get you to believe a narrative and a reality that doesn't exist. You might feel like you have to over-explain yourself. I felt like in that argument, I felt like I had to over-explain myself to her why I wasn't able to show up. And her was like, I didn't really understand it because all of the changes and because my children finally have their dad back in their life. Like, I didn't get it. And this is the thing. You might have noticed a lot of patterns with this person. There's a lot of like accountability that you have to show up for yourself. Number one, you have to recognize that you saw this, but you saw the red flags. You saw the red flags for a long time, because in this relationship that I had with my sister, there was this pattern of me, whenever I was with a person, whenever I was in a relationship, the dynamic in our relationship changed. She felt replaced. She felt abandoned by me. And in that would attack me. And this story is also about destiny swapping. And that's what I'm saying. These people that have a jealous spirit, that have this destiny swapping, it's not love. This relationship, in the collective reading, I was really talking about, trying to stress, like, this doesn't have anything to do with love. You know, like, you might have had a really good relationship and it might have been genuine on your end, because you are not a person that has envy in you. You don't want bad for people. And you're authentic. You're not trying to be like anybody out here. But these people that have jealousy, they're dangerous. And they, have issues. big issues, you know, and there's a lot of manipulation. The thing is that you can't be manipulated by this person. Okay? And I know it's sad because there's a sad energy with the moon. You might be feeling really sad because you had a strong connection. You feel betrayed. You feel heartbroken. You know, this was my big sister. This was my best friend. Like my road dog, I felt. But there was a lot of signs that I knew that she was not all the way there. You know? And so there's a little bit of an accountability that you got to have for yourself. Okay? And within that accountability, you got to speak your truth. This was the realest that I had ever been with my sister. And it ends here. It ends here. This, you know, I know I'm getting really personal in these readings, and it's for a reason. This is how Spirit speaks through me. If you are an OG here, okay, day one, you understand that I talk about personal shit. Okay? You understand that this is how Spirit speaks through me. So, this is just a part of how I express myself and how I pass on the message. Okay? And so I feel like there has to be accountability here for you. You got to speak your truth clearly, directly, even if it hurts. Because it is what it is. And honestly, you gave this person a lot of time. With the Seven of Pentacles here. You were damn near waiting. You know? And so with that accountability, whether you felt like, oh, I should have said this a long time ago, I should have cut this behavior a long time ago when I saw the pattern of every time I'm in a relationship, it was really dysfunctional. I'm telling you, this relationship with my sister was very dysfunctional and abusive. And I played a part with not holding her accountable, you know? And it's sad because you never want to tell people that you love and you care about these things about themselves, you know? But it's necessary. So there's a sadness. There's like a deep sadness here with the moon energy and the Page of Cups. You know, there's a feeling of wanting to hold on and to wait for things to be reconciled. You know, there's a feeling of just like waiting for this result to come in with the Seven of Pentacles because of how sad that this and unfortunate this whole situation is. And at the core and the root of it is just being authentic with yourself and with everybody. Because at a point, everybody can see it. It's so crazy. Like back in the day, people would be like, oh, you just copy Adrian. You copy her. They would always say that. Our family would, our mother and our father, our younger sister, they're just ruthless. They're like evil as fuck. And they would be telling her, you don't have a mind for yourself. All you do, you know, they would say these things to her. And I would defend her. I thought that was really fucked up. But come to find out, it's true. It's true. You know, like this person that is in your life, they don't really know themselves. But they don't want anybody to know it. But it comes down to it that everybody does know it. That's the thing. And a part of you, it's like you have to accept that too. That this friendship, this relationship that you have, you know, you knew it. You saw that this person, and maybe you were surprised by how far the gaslighting went. But there was heavy signs of like serious issues here. Serious issues. And destiny swapping, copying, mimicking, stalker kind of energy, obsessed energy. There was major signs here, you know. But let's go back to the sadness because I feel like that's what's keeping you like from leaving. Is wanting things to be reconciled, wanting things to like be fixed between you and this person, even if it's like you haven't talked to this person but they're still on your mind and you're waiting for them to come in and like
fix things. This story for me, it might be a different story for you, but this story for me is having to leave a business that I put my whole fucking heart into. And that was hard. That was hard. I've been betrayed by her before. And so it was like, and I speak in the family betrayal to have a backup plan. I always had a backup plan because I knew there was something wrong. There was something wrong. And I couldn't trust. I was very scared of her to do the same shit that she did to me before. So best believe, I was always working on my shit. And that's the trap that I was talking about. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I made a fly trap because there's some flies up in this bitch. And it's something about an energy about not getting trapped, not being trapped by their narrative. This is a convert narcissist. One that acts like a victim. And they're not. They're not the victim here. How are you going to be mad and upset at somebody because you feel replaced by a relationship that holds a different energy in my life that you will never fulfill? There's a lot of victimization in this relationship and in this energy. So this person makes you feel bad for just being like in a logical mind with the King of Swords, being real. And what you're holding on to, honestly, I'm hearing thank you next, because in the collective, it was about realizing that, you're leaving with a whole, honestly, you're in the right place. You're leaving with a lot of knowledge. And I know it's hard to let go because you've put in a lot of energy here. You've put in a lot of energy. But it's onto the bigger thing. It's onto the next and big thing. This is at an end. We had the Tower in the collective. And this is about recognizing that whatever that was built, it's crashing down for a reason. It was meant to fall. And it's time to really truly let go of that. I was really enraged by all the gaslighting, telling me that I didn't create these fucking candle designs and that I wasn't creatively directing this whole fucking shit. When you're the person that's only like, hey, let's have a meeting. Let's discuss this. If everything that you fucking that you guys run with is based on your creative idea, who's creatively directing it? Who's up in the bitch fucking, up in this joint, putting the products in people's fucking faces and talking their ass off? Was it her? No, it was not. It was me. Because you guys could tell how much I fucking cared about that shit. It was hard to let go because I put so much love into that shit. I loved what I created. And this is mostly showing up as a relationship for you. It might not be a business. It might not be it might just be the relationship. But it might not be the relationship. It might be a business. It might be, okay, I gotta move out. I gotta get out of here, because a lot of the, what you need to do is letting go and going on to the next, and understanding that there is something much more bigger beyond this. And if you can realize that you're leaving with a lot of knowledge, and that, your creativity is never stopped, your ideas cannot really be taken, and understand that this was a story within a story. It's not the end of your purpose, your destiny. You can move on. If some of you guys felt this is a best friend. Some of you guys feel like this is a best friend, and you feel like, who am I going to ever connect to like this ever? That's how I feel about my sister. But you have to understand that it's done. This is a very dangerous person. And with the 9 of Wands, you have to have your boundaries up with this person. You have to create. It is necessary for you to be on guard and to be paranoid about this person and to be blocking them on social media, blocking them energetically. Okay? Because this person doesn't have anything for themselves. And they have to take from you. You know? We have magic. Yeah, they want your magic. My candles were my fucking magic. I'm very passionate about this because, like I said in the collective, anybody that's an artist, anybody that's like an entrepreneur, I wasn't just doing this for the fame or like the fucking attention or whatever that she fucking hated. Like, she hated the shine, yo. She hated that shit. These people are so jealous. Like, this person is really jealous and always had something to say to make it seem like you were in the wrong or like these people were in the wrong. You know? It's like magic. I am not understanding my own magic anymore. Look at that. I'm not understanding. Like, when I felt like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta get out of this fucking house. I gotta, like, put some distance between me and her because she's trying to take what is mine. And I gotta process this shit. I had a whole fucking video. I recorded a whole fucking video to her. But I was like, you know, she ain't ready to hear this shit. She is not ready to hear this shit. I never sent it. You know? And it was just really hard. I was not understanding myself anymore. I was like, this is my purpose. This is what I was supposed to be doing. You might be feeling that way about yourself. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but now this person is getting shine, or this is like, you know, it's really frustrating dealing with this stalker obsessed, like, person that is trying to steal your creativity. Honestly, it's really, when it comes down to it, it's creativity energy. It's solar plexus identity energy, you know? And I remember just feeling like you know what? I'm just gonna let go. Everybody, like my man, my best friend was like, just let go. You can do it. You can do it yourself. And it was hard to let go, you know? It took me a couple months to say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna let go of that, of my business, you know, and really step away from it, like, you know, fully, like, and just say, I'm gonna go off and do something solo. I'm gonna go off and, you know, start over if I have to. I can. I mean, I have all the ideas. Like, I got concepts. I got ideas for days. Okay? That's not nothing, you know? And it almost felt like I had to realize it over again that that shit is in me. It's just, you know, your identity is in you, you know? And the best thing that you need to be doing is realizing that, you know, understanding yourself again. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to put distance between this person and letting go of the relationship, letting go of the partnership, letting go of you even becoming obsessed about, you know, about the energy that this is. You know, it's hard not to even just like analyze the fuck out of this crazy shit. With these destiny swappers are literally insane. They are insane, people. Okay? It's psychotic. I'm gonna keep it real. Okay? It says power, beginnings, transformation. Understand that you're at this point in life where you're about to transform. Okay? And this was just a part. It's on to the next. This is like, it's not over. This is just the next chapter. This is the next book, honestly. This is the next book. This relationship that fell, it had to fall. The partnership, it wasn't built on something that was healthy. It says dark night of the soul. Some of you guys might be going through a dark night of the soul with this person. This, you know, it could be just like a lot of nasty energy. There was a lot of nasty energy surrounding this relationship. It says transformation, awakening, and tower energy. Exactly. You know, like, this is about recognizing yourself. So letting go of that relationship, realizing that nothing, like, they're not going to come around. They don't want people to know how fake they are. They don't want people to know that they don't have an identity. They don't want people to know. It's embarrassing. It's not embarrassing not knowing yourself. But when you live that as a foundation that, oh, I don't know myself, you got to go and get to know yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go in the dirt and dig through some dark shit to get to know who you truly are. And you have to have that dark night of the soul. So some of you guys might be, you know, I believe that we go through these different awakenings at different parts in time. When I was going through this was an awakening for me. It was hard for me to let go of that business. It was hard, but I don't want to be involved with it. I feel like it's tainted. I feel like it's tainted. We have the mirror, self-reflection, writer, big picture. So some of you guys people are stealing your creative ideas, stealing your art, stealing your, you know, your music, like your ideas. There's very heavily with this energy here, with the stalker energy. This could have been like a best friend or a friend, a co-worker, okay? But it says self-reflection, writer, big picture. There's a bigger picture here. And so a lot about what you are supposed to do here is understanding that you just got to let go of this relationship. You got to let go of this business. You got to let go of, you know, if it needs to get legal, then you can get legal with it if you feel like you want to. You know, I thought about that too, but I'd rather just move on, you know, like I'd rather just freaking move on, honestly. But, you know, take legal action if you need to, but you're on the road to success. That's what you got to realize, that you're on to the next, you know. And like I said in the collective, these people want you to stop shining. They want you to stop writing. They want you to stop taking pictures. They want you to stop modeling. They want you to stop, you know, getting your outfits together and showing the world. They want you to stop making your YouTube videos. They want you to be alone in a dark room and not be doing anything and feeling self-conscious and, you know, not understanding your magic anymore. Because it's mine, bitch. That's how this person is thinking. They're crazy. They literally are. Okay? And the crazy thing is that they believe it. That's the crazy thing, that they actually believe it. Like, that's what I got. Like, I realized that, you know, there's a big possibility that she might even be believing her delusions. You know, and so this person would be like, I'm not copying you. What? You know, like, what? It's very, like, weird energy. Okay, this is where the more advice is coming in. Hold on. I'm telling you, some of you guys need to tap into that spell that we did on live, okay? Because their asses are trapped. There's no stopping this. There's no stopping you. Okay? It says, I don't get involved, but my bitches get nasty. You know what that is? That is about, like, one thing, okay? You need to move on. You need to let go of this relationship. Let go of being obsessed about how they are obsessed about you, because I know it's psychotic and it's crazy and it's weird and it's like, what? But you got to let that shit go too. All right? But you need to just move on. Understand that you're going towards success. You're going to create something more successful than, you know, you're going to have more successful relationships. You're going to become more successful, but you got to show up. You can't stop being you. You can't stop doing your dreams and your goals. That's a big part of it. Okay. Now, I don't get nasty, but my bitches, I don't get involved, but my bitches get nasty. That's about your guides. Some of these motherfuckers with the evil eye and the destiny swapping, don't you know that this is ancestrally led? Don't you know that my purpose is led by my deities that are not the ones to be fucked with? That's what I'm saying. That people want your destiny, they want your purpose, they want, you know, and once you start really figuring out and understanding your magic again and understanding, oh, I'm me. I am me. I do this. I'm just going to show up as me. I don't fucking care about this psycho bitch. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna let them go do their weird shit over there. You know? Your bitches get nasty. When you step into that energy, you're giving your guides, your ancestors, the green light. You don't even have to get involved. Your involvement fuels these destiny swappers. So one of your things is like, you need to just let go and let them do whatever the fuck they need to do. I remember I wrote her an email. I said, girl, you know, it was very respectful. I'm always respectful. This is the most disrespectful I've ever been in these videos, okay? And it's my shadow work. It's me just expressing. I feel liberated right now talking about this because I was extremely hurt. And why should I be embarrassed and ashamed by the fuckery of somebody else? You know what I mean? And so, you know, let me calm down for a second. What you need to do is that you don't even have to get involved. You can step back. Just do you. And I remember I read the email and I was like, yo, you can do whatever you want with the business. I wish you luck with it. Go ahead, you want it? Want the destiny? Go on, do it, huh? Get up on there, talk your ass off. But first you gotta do all that shadow work. You gotta, in order to gain the confidence that you need, you gotta get up in your ass and clean it. Okay? So you want the destiny? Go ahead and do it. Bring the genius ideas. Get up and up on this social media shit. This shit ain't no fucking joke. The social media is a beast. It took me a long time to get here. Okay? You go ahead and do it, honey. Go ahead and do whatever you want with it. I wish you luck. Let me know. Whatever you need from me to close it out. I don't want to be legally connected to you no more. Like, to this business anymore. Like, I'm out, huh? Peace. Very respectful, though. Very professional fucking email. And you know what I got? I didn't get no fucking answer, but just saying, hey, when can I? Just something unrelated to what I was even saying. It just shows the level of like disrespect, and it just shows like this person is really disrespectful. Like I said, that conversation that I was having with her, she was like bringing up my miscarriage, like, oh, you're not even bleeding anymore. What's wrong with you? Making me feel bad because I was trying to tell her like I couldn't show up. Why were you showing up? Why do we have like 13 orders open? Because you're sad that I'm in a relationship now? Like, anyways, let's move on. What you need to do is unidentified fly asshole. Let me tell you what this is about. Number one, what you need to do, okay, is become unidentified. Keep switching up on these asses, okay? You are a fly asshole. That's why this bitch is copying you. That's why this bitch is trying to steal from you. This is why, they're taking notes and watching. That's why. Because you're a fly ass queen. All right? And the thing is that you can't lose your sauce and your swag. Continue to evolve. Continue to like just pop out and show these niggas. Sometimes you gotta pop out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta pop out. And that's what this unidentified kind of energy is. You don't need to, like, how you kill a destiny swapper and let them just go do their own shit. Like, figure out who you are, hon. Is that you switch up. They learn you. They study you. They study, like, your moves. It's time to switch things up. So, she show up when she's tired. All right, so what you need to do is hit the road, Jack. Chariot card, you need to hit the road. It's time, where did I see it? It's time for a new beginning, right? It's that unidentified fly ass hoe shit. Create distance. You need to just like go to town on yourself, on your goals, on your life, on whatever you're doing. You need to show up even when you're tired, okay? Because a lot of this destiny swapping is vampire-ish. It's like they suck energetic. Like when someone's watching you, constantly studying, wanting to know about your life, like, wanting to know what they need to do, in a very obsessive way, and how they want to just slip on your skin kind of energy, it is energetically taxing to you. So even though you're tired, like I remember when I exited out of this situation, I was so tired. I was like so exhausted. You know, and a lot of it can be evil eye energy. Like, they don't want you to show up. So now you're feeling tired, you're feeling lazy, you don't want to do certain things. Like, it's very energetic. It's very psychic, this destiny swapping, obsessive, stalker kind of shit. And so it's important that you get up, you put your makeup on, you do your fucking hair, you shower, you get on that YouTube channel. Okay, you make that art, you make that music, you get to the book that you're writing, you take those pictures. You show up when you're tired, because you're going to be tired exiting out of this situation because there's been a lot of energy attached to you. Show up to the rituals, okay? I'm for real with you, number one. You got to catch me while I still care. I ain't calling for you. You thought I was falling for you? And that's the thing. It's the trap, number one. It's the trap. Because I had made this fly trap, and I was like, something about a trap with number one. There's some kind of trap. This person might be trying to trap you. They're trying to trap you. They're trying to, catch you, because that energy with Nikki when she's saying like, oh, you think I was falling for you? No, I was not falling for your shit, hon. I saw right through you and knew exactly what you were trying to do. You know what I mean? There's something about that. This person might be trying to trap you, trying to get you stuck and trapped, and, maybe even try to manipulate you back into a relationship with them. Like, no, you should have catch me when I actually cared. When I was up in your room trying to heal our sisterhood. Like, I cared way too much, even after everything that you fucking did to me. I cared way too much, and you should have caught me when I was caring. I ain't calling for you. You don't need to call for these people. You don't need to call for this person. They should have caught you when you cared. Now you're not falling for their shit. Keep it real with yourself, number one. Don't fall into this victimhood energy. This person has a victimized, like they want to have a victim like projection out to the world, like I'm not really like this, I'm innocent. No, actually you're not. And so you need to just keep it pushing. They should have caught you when you were actually caring about the situation a year ago. Gave you months. I was up in your fucking text messages. I was up in your room. I was trying to heal our relationship, trying to mend our business. You weren't doing shit. Okay, so they should have called you when you cared, because now you don't. She ain't got that kind of flair. Let me see what I'm gonna wear. She ain't got that kind of flair. Let me see what I'm gonna wear. They're gonna copy. I'm gonna wear Montclair. So exactly, this is the thing, like this is so much destiny swapping the cards that are coming out. Like, yeah, like they don't got that flair. Let's see what they got, like let them do what they want. Stay unidentified. Keep it pushing. Show up even when you're tired. Let's not give away what we're doing out here. Keep things secret until you're ready to fucking go. When the energy feels right to announce whatever you're doing. Like, best believe, like, I feel great and in alignment with my guides, right? Because I don't got to get involved. My bitches get nasty. Most of the time, I don't even have to speak. And when I do, it is guided by my guides. So this is about like just doing your shit, like she ain't got that kind of flair. Let me see what I'm gonna wear. They're gonna copy. Let me switch it up. Let's see if they're gonna really copy. Let's see if they can really do what you do. It's like, I remember like when I noticed the copying and the mimicking, I started keeping things a secret. My beauty rituals, I was keeping my beauty rituals a secret, my glamour rituals a secret, like my whole spiritual practice, I wasn't letting anybody know what I was doing, and I was like keeping certain things that I wanted to do, personal things. So when I did them, it was kind of like a surprise, like, oh, this person's starting to do this. I wasn't updating people, you know what I mean? And so that is one thing that you need to keep it, because this person is like, you're going on to the next and you don't need any influence, You know, you don't need an influence from them. Not the one, the two, or the three. And this is what, you know, you have to come with this energy. I am so done with the energies that I am posting, the downloads that I'm posting here on the channel. I am done. There is just so much a person can fucking take. I am done. And it is about letting people know that you are not the one, you know, and having that version of you that was caring and loving and giving and sharing, generous. They don't get that version anymore. Now they get the version where you're like, I'm not the one, the two, or the three, bitch. Like, I'm not the one. And they're gonna find out. It's time to be very cold with this person. You had the King of Swords. It's about making a decision and being cold. King of Swords, Nine of, you know, this isn't really about being mean. This is about being cold. Cut off. There's no emotion here anymore. If anything, there's anger. There's no good emotions here. The only good emotions is that I know that it's shaped me in a good way. It's made me stronger. It's made me more wise. Because I'm a person that continues to go in on myself. Okay? So you have to see that about you. Okay? I paid them in dust. It's time to pay them in dust. Give them no attention. They don't exist. You know, like the treatment, the gaslighting, because maybe some of your guys' situations is not as intense as mine, but it's time to really pay them in dust. Be stingy with your love. Okay? You need me. I don't need you. Okay? You need me. I do not need you. So number one, you need to understand that they needed you. You do not need them to go off and be great, to be successful. That is something that they wanted you to believe, that you need some type of connection with them to be happy, to be good. This destiny swapping, mirroring energy, their life, like making their life mirror yours, it's really confusing and it's weird and it will fuck with your head. It would make you feel like you need them because it's really like an person that's trying to merge with your identity. It's hard for them to see themselves without seeing you. It's crazy. These people are psychotic. And you need to realize that in this relationship, most of you guys are feeling like it's going to be hard. It's hard to let go. Some of you guys are wanting to be connected with this person again, wondering if it's ever going to be. I would advise you not to be connected to this person. Okay? Especially if a lot of this is resonating. You don't need them though. They really need you. We have the movie Cube. I feel like this is really like, because of the ritual that we did on Thursday, it's really giving that, because we used a cube in that ritual. But this is also like the trap kind of energy that I was talking about. Like, I feel like they set themselves up. This person with their authentic energy, not being able to be transparent. Like, there's one thing to understand, like maybe I don't know myself. I'm looking to this person to understand myself. I think I mentioned the karmic and the divine energy in the collective. And there's one thing to be like that, but to not admit it when it's exposed or like when it's becoming a problem, you know, it really cuts them. They trapped themselves. I feel like, you know, this is more talking about how they're trapping themselves, you know, because I feel like you're a very good person. You have a lot to give to the people that are in your life. And I don't feel like they're ever going to get out of that. I don't think they're ever going to get out of that trap that they put themselves in, because you're not caring, right? You got to catch me while I care. I ain't calling for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because it's already long enough. I just feel like, you know, this person could be trapped in their own delusions. If you've seen that movie, The Cube, you should go and watch it. That's the energy that they're in. All of you guys should watch that. If that participated in the evil eye block spell. They're in that cube trying to get out. Okay. They can't though. They can't. We're going to send them back to the world. We're going to send them back to the world, you know, with their energy that they wanted for us. So show up June 13th. We're getting into this hoodoo ritual. It's a jinx removal. We're going to remove all evil eye, hexes, curses, okay? Cross conditioning, spiritual blockages. Show up, okay? June 13th. Check out the Stand store to join this ritual, okay? And when you join, check your email because you'll get specific information by me that you guys need to do. Okay, check out the Stand store. That's where you can book readings with me. Okay, number 1, I'll see you in the next reading. Peace. All right, number 2, welcome. Come on in. Let's get into this collective message for you. I got the collective cards here because they are yours still. And I don't want to forget about the message from the collective as well. But we're going to go deeper into this on how you should deal with this energy. We know that we shouldn't. Okay, so the message is coming in. We know that we should, you know, let whatever fall. And continue to just be ourselves, you know, rebuild ourselves, continue to, you know, show up as ourselves. You know, that's the one thing that you have to understand is that, you know, this person is trying to make you feel a certain way about your life, about your actions, about what you chose to do. This is a friend. This is an ex-friend. This is someone that you're not really in contact with anymore. And so, you know, there's a group that is involved in this story of yours. This, you know, could be a whole group. The whole group is stalking you. You know, it feels like this particular friend, though, wasn't a part of this group, or they were appearing to be that they weren't a part of this group at one point. And now they are, and they could have got, like, I feel like without this person, these other people wouldn't be looking into you, if that makes sense. So it almost feels like this person, because their involvement with you is causing everybody else to kind of look in on you, is what I'm feeling here. This friend of yours could have, like, left you for a group of people. And when I say leave, it feels like, yeah, okay, hold on. Let me get these. It feels like, when I say leave, it feels like, you know, exclusion, like exiling, you know, trying to, like, what is it? Like, there's like a mean girl kind of energy that I'm feeling here. There's like, okay, there could be like 3 feminines involved in this group. So it kind of just feels like, oh, you can't sit with us. Kind of like gang stalking. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like gang stalking, like ganging up on you, you know? It's like, it's very silent, but we're here. You know we're here. We're not saying anything, but you know we're here kind of energy. You know that we feel this way about you. We all feel this way. You know, we all, you know, when you're not around, we talk shit about you kind of shit. Like stalking kind of shit. So this person that was obsessed with you is now getting other people obsessed with you, having other people stalking you. And this is like to make them feel important. You know, they're doing all this because they don't feel important, and they might want to feel important to even this group of people. And so how can they stay relevant? How can they make themselves feel important to the group, or feel like they're important to them, is possibly getting, like, you know, stalking you, creating a narrative, you know, creating secrets. Okay. Talking about your personality is coming up. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. But so with this group, though, I want to ask you, do you like these people? Because it makes me feel like it is very overwhelming when you have like a group of people, and it almost feels like this person, okay, that's the energy I'm feeling. It's like this friend felt like they were going to trigger you and make you feel a certain way by them involving themselves with these other people that might not like you. These other people might not like you, right? You might not like them. And it's like, do you like these people? So even if they are expressing their narrative about you, doesn't even really matter what these people think about you, that you don't like, that you don't really respect, you don't care. Okay, this is going to entail what you should be doing concerning this friend and now group of people that is against you. This could be making a choice to just let go and let go of the group that you're in, let go of this friend and this focus, really. Because we have the Lovers here. This could mean that you have somebody that loves you, you're in a relationship or something, but I feel like with the Lovers here, this is more about making a decision for yourself, you know, that's in alignment with what you are trying to call in for yourself. The Lovers for me is very much about manifestation. You know, it has the two lovers on there. That is symbolic for divine masculine and feminine energy that we all have within ourselves to manifest something. The angel there represents God, that helps us manifest, right? That brings down our manifestations. So it feels like, you know, when you think about that vision, let's go a little bit wider. When you think about the vision that you have for yourself, do you see this group involved in your vision? Probably not. Even if you felt like this vision included this person, this stalker friend that is now obsessed, maybe it did include them, but they're involving themselves with this group that does not align with your energy. You wouldn't want to hang out with these people anywhere. I feel like this person, because like clearly the energy that I'm tapping in personally for myself is like the situation with my sister. And this wasn't the first time that my sister decided to make me feel exiled, you know, within our family. And, you know, but this last time that she did it, it didn't hit the same. You know what I mean? I was already evolved into this. Like I had already woken up, did the deep work and understanding about myself and about this group, you know. I had already become like this empress in my eyes. And this was a tactic that these stalker, like, you know, frenemies, these people, they try to exile you and make you jealous about bringing their energy to other people besides you and to make you feel like you're exiled. And I feel like you guys might feel like a little bit triggered. I don't really see it too much because I'm tapping really into like how I felt when this energy was in my life the last time, and it didn't hit the same way. I realized like all these tactics are not like working like how they used to. I don't like these people. I don't really care what you're telling these people about me. I don't really even care like what they think about me. I don't respect these people. I don't like them. I don't want to kick it with them. Like, those are your people. They ain't my people. Okay, that's your people. So like it was like that kind of energy that I felt. So it's like I feel like you wouldn't even want to kick it with these people. You know, so if you're struggling with like feeling like, oh, I'm being attacked and they're talking about me, and you know, this stalker obsessed friend, you know, they're creating this narrative about me, right? The reason why they do this is so that they can trigger you and also change your identity to the public. And so you feel kind of even more confused about self because they're copying you. They're trying to like, you know, become you. And they're also changing the narrative about you, right, to these people. But one thing I really want you to understand and to start doing is recognizing that you don't like these people to begin with. They're not a part of your vision. They're not in alignment with your energy. And this person isn't either. So you shouldn't really care what this person is also like. A lot of you are like, oh, but why would they say this? Because this was my friend, and like, why would they say these things about me? You know, it's because they want to change the narrative. They want to change the perspective, how people see you, because then they can really step in and be who they want to be, which is you, to these people that don't even really believe that to begin with. Also, you know, so what you need to do here is create distance, let go of the group, let go of that energetic tie to the group. You know, wake up and see yourself for who you are. Wake up and see like that these people are not really involved with your vision, you know. With this Queen of Pentacles, this is coming in as like this group kind of energy. Like they sit around and talk about you. This stalker is like obsessed with you, right? Trying to change the narrative about you, because it could have been that you've expressed something, you know, about them, about the connection. There's something that's going on with you communicating something emotional, and it's triggering to this person, which led them to go and form some type of group that is stalking you, gang stalking you, and, you know, throwing bad energy. Join the fucking, you know, containment spell that I have going on the live. Join the hoodoo jinx removal ritual that we're doing on June the 13th, okay? This is for multiple forces that's coming against you. Join it. But this is energetic, you know, like when someone's sitting around talking about it, creating a narrative, like just talking shit, like, you know, just having like this, like, oh, we don't fuck with her kind of energy. Like, we're going to exile her. For what reason? We don't even, like, you don't know, you know. A lot of this is like, you don't understand, because it's all being orchestrated in somebody's head and like away from you. It's very manipulative, right? And so what I'm feeling is like when they're in this group and like spending all this time focusing on you, what I feel like you should be doing at this time is dropping the energetic cords towards this situation and just say, you know, this is exhausting. I reject this. I don't care because I don't like these people. And then there's this Queen of Pentacles. This is you getting to the bag. This is you pouring into your physical life. This energy is going to eat them alive. I don't know necessarily like if this is like, oh, you should do it because it will eat them alive. Like you rising to the top, you know, in the financial realm, making money. This can also be like paying attention to your physical appearance, your physical life. It's not that is going to... Okay, thank you, Spirit. It's not that is going to, like, that's to say, like, oh, do it because it will eat them alive, and that's why you should do it. It's because, like, it's gonna make you feel good, for one, like, and it's a good direction to focus your energy on versus focusing on this group and what they're saying and what they're doing. But it's also proving them wrong. It's making them a liar. A lot of these people, like, because like in my personal story, my sister loves to lead with the narrative that I use her, and all of her financial problems is my problem. I mean, it's me. It's because of me. And this time around, like, maybe she could have gotten away with that with her twisting of truth in the past. But it doesn't really fucking work anymore because I'm self-sufficient. Like, you know, and while they were sitting around in a room talking about me, trying to make it very obvious that they didn't like me, they're not, you know, fucking with me. It was just such an uncomfortable energy too. But you know what? I disconnected and I got in my bag. And I made $10,000 and I moved the fuck out into my dream apartment. And I continued to take care of my responsibilities like I have been for years. So it's like, it's gonna do good for you to just focus more on your physical life, to ground yourself in that, because this person might be saying things about you, trying to make themselves a victim, and this is just how they are. Whatever you're doing, whatever lens that they have to look at you at, this group is gonna realize, like, the math is not mathing. The math is not mathing. What? How is that? And I'm also feeling like the truth will come out, and then the math will start to connect, and like realize it's a whole other kind of equation that's going on here. You know, like that's what I'm feeling. Like it's going to expose a lot of truth. I feel like you shouldn't commit. Like you should just keep it pushing. Whatever like involvement that you have with this group, with these people, I feel like you should keep it nice and sweet, you know, short and sweet. And just keep it pushing. Okay, you should be pouring your energy into your physical life, your appearance and stuff. Like, you know, they could be saying like, oh, this person is lazy, they don't do shit, they're evil, you know, they're just so like, they're crazy. But when this group, or when the rest of the world, or the family, or the other people that they're talking shit to you, I mean about you to them, they look in on you and they're just like, oh, this person's doesn't seem like a bad person. It doesn't seem like they're fucking lazy. You know, actually I see them showing up for the business. Proof is in the pudding. It's in the videos that I post. It's right there. When everything is laid out on the fucking table, the math does not math up with what this person is saying about you. You know, when they look in on you, the people are like, when they really take a look, and what they're doing is really exposing themselves. So I would just focus on me, you know, like that's what I did. I focused on me. I continued to do my readings. I continue to put out my collective readings because that's what I do. Like, you know, I continue to show up, do what I had to do for my kids, better their life. I continue to hustle like I've been doing, like, you know, and it's just like that was her narrative that she led with, to her narrative of that I don't do anything, I'm just like a leech. But behind closed doors it was like, you know, this is like years ago, behind closed doors it was like, oh, you don't have to work, I understand, I have the same values as you, you know, I want you to raise my nephew and my niece, and I want them to have you at home, we can have a business together, we can see how that goes. But then behind closed doors she's talking shit about me, calling me a fucking leech, and saying that I'm using her, and she's like this victim, but not talking about how she has a shopping addiction, using gift cards to buy shit, and then when her check hits her account she don't got shit, she's smoking it all up. Like, not saying the shit that actually got her in the situation, and then not really being clear about how she felt. And this is like a double-sided kind of energy. So this person is very double-sided. They live two different lives. One way, when they're with you, they're different. With this group, they're more in their energy. More than they are with you. They try to be you, but they're really like this group. That's what it is. They try to be you because they want to be a good person. They see you as like a point that they feel like, man, I wish I can be that, right? But they're really like the group that they're fucking with, like, you know? That's who they really are. That's the energy, that's the vibration. That's why they're there. You know? Vibrationally, if we want to keep it 100, like the laws of the universe, like likes attracts like. Right? And I feel like whatever they're saying to you, don't worry about it. It's like, even the shit that they were saying about you in the past, if they were like, if this is like an ongoing thing, just constant shit, you know, it's like ghetto and fucking dysfunctional and shit, like back and forth kind of shit, like even the shit that they were saying in the past, like it was half truth, it was twisted. Yeah, I wasn't working, I didn't have a job, I was a stay-at-home mom, and we had like and this is like, there's so many layers to this energy, right? This person could be very like, they get taken away with their fantasy. They're very connected to the fantasy self. That's why they're trying to destiny swap with you. And when they're with you, they're like promising you things, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and you know, da da da. But then when things start to get bad, and especially when they get triggered and get jealous, because again, when you start to rise, when you start to elevate, the dynamic changes in the relationship, they start getting weird. Now it's like, you know, it's because of you. Every problem that they have is because of you, and you're a bad person, and I'm the victim here. That's their narrative, and it's not working anymore. You know, it worked because you were a broken person back in the day. And you really probably believed that you weren't worth shit. For the people that this is like an ongoing thing, but now that's not the case. Their narrative that they're spinning to this group is just showing how fake and weird that they are, because the truth is going to come out. Okay? The truth is going to come out. And they're going to look at you and be like, wow, she's the Empress. She's abundant. She's stable. She don't look like she's fucking crazy. She don't look like she has mental issues. She's a good mother. She's taking care of her kids. She's hustling. She's about her money. Seems like she's a really healthy, stable individual that's giving and loving and on the right track. Empress energy. So the math is not mathing. You're saying that this person is fucking lazy and they're out of control, and they don't work for shit. They don't got nothing. Well, how did they move out if they didn't have anything, if they weren't working? Why aren't you doing the business anymore? Aren't you a hustler? Isn't this your shit? Why don't you make videos for the business? Why haven't you went on live? I see that bitch over there. She's still working. She's still hustling. Creating. Math is not math thing. Okay? So we have trust in the places you feel guided towards. Space, time, and self. Infinity, reincarnation. Okay? So yes, what you need to be doing is going towards the things that you feel guided towards. I remember 2 years before I decided to let go of my business, I was being instructed by my guides to stop posting about it. And I was like, what? Of course I was disobedient because I didn't understand. And but I was guided to like move differently. It took me some time, and I did. And then things were revealed, and then I understood. And then I followed suit to the T. And then, you know, I felt like really guided to just start saving money and just hustling and like just throwing myself into my purpose, you know. Also just like throwing myself into my family, you know. I was happy for the first time in a healthy relationship, building a family. And this weird stalker drama shit was not going to take that away from me. So I was guided to just spend time towards the places that really gave me a lot of love and a lot of, you know, happy energy. So I feel like that's what you should do, especially getting into your bag. It says give to the mind, and it gives back. The mind, inspiration, mood, cycle. Take care of your mood. I feel like, you know, right now you should be definitely observing things. We had the judgment card, like waking up doing a deep reflection of things. Like, don't stop the shadow work. Shadow work should not stop. You should always be reflecting and understanding things, you know, and also just stay inspired by life. You know, a lot of this like obsessed stalker energy can really kill the vibe. And this is about not getting off track. Don't commit to this energy if you have to be around it. Just quickly like make your way out, you know, and away. Liberation, free spirit, wild, authentic. Just let me be. Fuck, let a bitch live. You know, it's like, dang, can I live? Can I live? Like, just let me be. You know, so I feel like you just need to focus on just being free. And I mentioned this in the collective reading of just like, don't let these fuckers take you out of your spotlight from sharing. And this is reminding me of like this Instagram reel that I saw with Real Talk with Yanni. She was like talking about how like she was being gang stalked by people, right? And it really took her out and made her feel like she wanted to stop posting. She stopped posting for a while because it makes you feel uncomfortable when people are sitting around in a room talking about you and looking at you, and you know that you have all these lenses, especially when you're an influencer, right? And she was just like, I'm gonna get back to posting because like, you know, her friend was encouraging her and stuff. And that video really encouraged me to just push through what I was going through. And I just feel like you got to just be free and wild. This is what these people don't want to be. Let them talk. Let them talk shit about you. Who cares? Who are these people? Do you even like them? Who cares what they're fucking saying? You know? Like, who are these people? Let's get some more information. Get more information. Snake in the garden. We already knew that. The bitch is a snake. In the beautiful garden. That's the thing. Okay. Okay, so this is going to give us some more things. You need to be main character. What you need to be doing is main character. You are them. Don't let them take you out of your own story, right? They're living the same motherfucking story. It's always the same shit with them. Their narrative is not working anymore, you know, and this is your story. Okay? Who want to be a millionaire? I'm your lifeline. Now, this is really making me feel like when I decided to remove all of that business to all of my platforms. I got instructed when I said, okay, I see what you're talking about, guys. I get it. I see it. What should I do? Because it's getting ridiculous over here. It's getting real disrespectful. Bitch, put some respect on my name. For real. That's what got anything to do with it. So I was like, you know what? Some of you guys really need to disconnect yourself from this person completely. Like, there's clout involved, you know, when we talking about destiny swapping and like trying to be involved, trying to like ride the coattails kind of energy that I'm feeling right now. It's like, you need to recognize how much you pour into this stream, especially if this is a business partnership. Like, this could be like some type of power control, you know, even with their tactics that they're using with the group kind of energy. It's like, this person needs a rude awakening. You know what I mean? And I felt deeply hurt by the narrative and the energy that she was coming through with our business. And I was really instructed to just erase everything from my platforms that it didn't fucking exist as much as I can. Because, you know, I was going hard. You know, I went hard for my baby. That was my baby. Okay? But I tried to scrub my platforms of that tainted business, you know? And it really showed who had the power. Who had the juice, who had the influence, who had the power. It really showed that, because who want to be a millionaire? I'm serious. If things were healthy in our personal relationship that affected our business relationship, we could have been millionaires with the shit that we were creating. We had it. I had it. Actually, let me just say that. I got it. And I'm leaving with a lot of knowledge. I got the juice. So it's like, you got to realize like your energy is expensive. And these, it's giving poor. It's giving real poor energy. And this is energetic kind of energy that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like, you know, what they do for a living, what kind of money they're making or whatever, but it's giving real poor. Lack. And this is not you. You the Empress. So you got to realize like your involvement, your attention, no matter how triggered or upset you are, like your attention, like if you're going to be talking about it, let's get some money out of it. You know what I mean? If you're going to be, you know, let's make sure that you're going to like benefit from this. If it doesn't benefit you, I wouldn't talk about it. Okay? Now, social media. Block those bitches on social media. Block them energetically. Block them physically. Block. Block, 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 block. Okay? How my demons look now that my pockets are full. This is about not, so I know I mentioned all of that. And so you can twist it and tweak it to where it's going to make sense for you. But this is about you not being scared to be in your shadow when it comes to these people. When it's the time. I mean, I'm in my shadow right now. Okay? And I'm not a spiritualist where it's all about the light. It is very much about integrating this shadow. As much as you integrate the light into yourself, you must, you know, integrate the darkness, you know, and that is the anger, that is the pain, that is the cold energy that we are feeling, you know, throughout this collective reading. And so I feel like this is about understanding that you are safe to act. I remember when I noticed all of this, because this wasn't the first time. There's a lot of betrayal within these collectives that I'm, you know, dropping, and a lot of like energy that, you know, personal energy that I've experienced. And this wasn't the first time, but, you know, when it came down to actually going through this weird, like, breakup with the, you know, with this person in my life, I was able to, because my pockets were full financially and energetically, spiritually, like I'm full, I was able to express myself. I wasn't scared. My shadow, I was able to control my shadow, because it's not about letting the shadow run like rapid, you know, and taking control. And, you know, it's about grabbing a hold of those reins and guiding the shadow when it's time. The shadow wants to come up and express themselves. So this is about understanding that you are safe. You should express yourself to these people's faces. You know what I mean? Like, you need to let them know how you feel. This is not about holding back how you feel, whether it be sadness, anger, or anything, because you are safe. You are full. You are taken care of by God. Okay? And it shows in your finances. It shows in your spirituality. It shows in everything. You're the goddamn motherfucking Empress, okay? It's kill season. You apologize, you know, but it's still treason. So, this is about them apologizing. This ex-friend. They might apologize. They might have apologized, but it's still treason. And that will probably, you know, what do you do when it's treason? Take their head. That's the kind of energy that this is about. This is about not accepting this person back into your life. They are where they belong. They are where they belong. They have chosen their side. They have, you know, chosen the group, chose their people, okay? And it's kill season, because you're the Empress. Your energy is expensive. You can't just have people that are willing to betray you and commit treason around you. That's not going to fly. Okay? We have, I'm not scared to finally say that shit with my chest. So it's like, you know, you can finally say what you got to say. You're safe to say what you got to say. You can finally say it with your chest, with all the receipts on the motherfucking table. I'm transparent. There ain't nothing that you can fucking say about me that I don't fucking say about myself to my audience. Like, okay? So don't be afraid to say what you gotta say. Be completely transparent. The Empress is transparent. She didn't get to be the Empress by hiding herself, her shadow and her light. So just be in your energy, you know? It says they just want my love and energy. It's like attention seeking. This group energy, it's like because they're really like they've been a fan. They've been a fan, you know, like they love you. And this is not how you want love to be expressed. You know what I mean? Like, this is weird. You don't know how to express love. And it's like, they just want love. They just want attention. They just want this. And, you know, they want the energy. No, denied. Okay? Snake in the garden. This is a snake in your garden, in the Empress. Empress is usually, you know, in a garden here. And so, you know, that's indicating that you got to be careful. I'm hearing, I don't want no frauds. I don't want no drama when you call. I don't want no frauds. Pick a side, pick a side. I'm hearing pick a side, pick a side. Like, bitch, you picked your side. Stay over there, okay? Because I'm not with the shits no more. I've had it. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm over here in my garden, living peacefully. Okay? It's like, I wake up. It says, I wake up, got my eyes out for the snakes. Okay? So just, you know, this is about keeping your eyes out for the snakes. Focus on your bag. Don't care about what these people are doing, what they're saying in the group chat. In the room. Like, who gives a fuck? Who are these people? They ain't you. They are not on your vibrational level. They're not. They got a lot of work to do, all of them. So who cares? You're good. You're safe. Just continue to keep yourself secure. Take care of your physical life. Take care of yourself. Take care of your emotional self as well. And deny, deny, deny. Reject, reject, reject. Nope, I don't want it. All right? So that is what I got for you, number 2. Check out the Stamp Store. That's where you can book with me. Remember, we got these spells going on. June 13th, we're going to light this up with the whole ritual. So check out the Stamp Store for that. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Peace. All right, number 3, welcome. Come on in. Let's get into this message. You guys are the ones that have picked the word me. And I'm specifically hearing, what about me? What about me? You might feel like with this destiny swapping type of energy, these people, it's hard. They see you as like kind of like a foreign object that they can look at. It's hard for them to connect that you're actually a real person with feelings, and it took you time to get to this, to develop this identity, to develop these ideas, this confidence, this artistry. Like, it's taking you time to get there. And they disconnect themselves from that reality. This friendship saw you as like something that served them, right? That's how it felt. I feel like you guys, you always felt like, what about me? What about me? This person was really obsessed. Like, they wanted a lot of your time. Like, you felt very obligated to this person. It almost felt like this person was your man. You know, the relationship could have gotten really like the boundaries were really blurred with this connection. And it always left you feeling like, well, what about me? This is about people pleasing. Okay, this is about people pleasing. This is about you finally choosing yourself over this friend. You know, this is about you giving yourself attention, you know, allowing yourself to be praised. It's almost like this person had to, like, in some way, it could have been very subtle, because I did mention in one of the piles or the collective, this is like convert narcissism. And I think you stray away from like thinking about yourself and like what's important for you just in general, like in life. Number 3, I feel like because you might have had narcissistic family members, and so you were lucky enough to not be one of those, you know, to get some of those traits. And you are, I would say, the lucky one, right? But also it's hard because when you are raised by narcissists, you develop being a people pleaser. And you take that into your friendships, you take that into your romantic relationships, and every relationship that you have, whether it be family, friends, co-workers, you're always seeking to please them, you know? So I feel like you've fallen into another relationship with this ex-friend, now obsessed. Narcissists are obsessed. They are. And this relationship always made you feel like they don't see you as human. You know, they don't see you as someone who's tired, that needs their space, that needs boundaries, that, you know, needs to pour into themselves, you know, needs to have like a separate identity. You know, they didn't see you as that. And it always left you feeling like, what about me? You know, what about me though? I always have to carry all of this, you know, like it could be very energetic. You know, I remember like this relationship that I had with my sister, it was very like taxing. It was like, I remember she went to, she was a travel nurse at some point, right? And it just felt like when we were around, we were always doing everything together. Because again, this person is very obsessed with you and they want all of your time. And they feel like when your time is away from them, or like when you're not like updating them, telling them everything, like meeting up with them, they feel insecure. Okay? Is a big factor about this, about this connection with this friend. And that's why they're stalking you. It's why they're probably sending you evil eye right now, is because when you take away that access, it's like now you are someone. It's like they want to be you until they realize that you have a separate identity, that you are actually a human. You are actually someone with feelings and with their own shit going on, their own problems, their own responsibilities that trump over this person, right? You have all those things. And once they realize that you're a real person and not just this focal point of inspiration to steal from and copy, then it's like, oh, I hate this person. I'm so fucking jealous. I wish I was them. Like, why are they like this? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, it's weird. You know what I mean? Like, that's the energy that I'm picking up on. And they're just, to avoid that energy, they had to be with you constantly. To avoid this jealousy and this really hateful energy at the foundation, this person does not like you. They want to be you, but they don't like you. And so avoid that. You had to like be with this person, or they had to be with you and they wanted to be with you to copy you and all of that, you know? And it just left you feeling like just drained, like really drained, you know? And I remember like when she was away from the house, I felt like I could finally breathe. I felt like, and like especially when she went to different states to work in, I realized how conditioned I was to just make sure that she was okay. In the relationship that you have with this person could be very like emotional, like where you felt responsible for their feelings, or the way that they treated you made you feel like you had to make sure that this person wasn't sad, they weren't angry, you know, you had to do everything that they wanted you to do. And it was a lot of like just understanding that certain things that you did displeased them. It's a very like manipulative kind of energy. And so this has always left you feeling like, what about me? What about me though? What do I want? And so I feel like what you need to do is do some deep reflection on what you really need and want right now in life, and start doing that. I know when you come out of a relationship that feels very obsessive and draining, and there's like like just weird dynamic. Because this kind of friendship is like, these friendships that we're tapping into tonight, it's not normal. These are not normal good friendships. Okay. And so this is about choosing what you want to do. You could have made a really, like, walking away from this connection was probably the best thing that you could do for yourself. And it was an healing act for yourself. That's healing the people pleaser within you, you know, because it feels like you have to take care of this person. This person makes you feel like their emotions, the way they feel, like it's your responsibility to make them feel good. I remember, like, I felt so obligated, like, and this is also your like, this is something that you need to correct within yourself so you don't bring this into the next, you know, into other relationships. I would say the next thing you need to do is work on your people pleasing. Because I remember, like, when she, I got to a point, I mean, I feel like her going to, you know, do her travel nursing really allowed me to start working on my people pleasing. Because it really showed that, why do I feel so obligated? Like, you know, and then when she would come back and we would be together, I realized that if I wasn't following suit, if I was choosing me just to have alone time, I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my kids. Like, my kids are with me all the time. So it's like, if I would just choose myself to be alone, you know, she would have an issue with it. She would start getting insecure. She would, and this was because she doesn't have an identity. This is because this person doesn't have an identity. And that's why they get so triggered that you're not, like, around, and they want to be like, oh, well, you're just like, you don't fucking care. You know, you might even have a relationship. You might get into, like, a romantic relationship. And, you know, when you get into a romantic relationships, your other relationships, they kind of shift. You have to balance, you have to juggle, you have to, you know, and it's like, oh, it was always something. I feel like this person might be like, oh, you know, I feel like I'm being replaced, you know, and then it's like, this could be like a long-term relationship that you're in, right? With this friendship, like, it's been years of being friends with this person. And now you're grown. This ain't, you know, high school shit. Like, I got kids with this nigga. Like, we trying to raise kids. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, so it's like, it's always something, you know, like them trying to, like, it's about codependency. This friend is really codependent on your presence, your physical presence being there. Because I remember, like, especially when I started going hard on my goals, going hard on the YouTube channel, like, and just, like, even, like, our business and shit, like, I would realize, like, I would have to tell myself, you don't have to go and hang, like, we live together. This is like, my sister was someone that I lived with, okay? And so I had to tell myself, you don't have to go and, like, check in. You don't gotta go and hang out with her. Like, if she's bothered by that, then that's her own shit. I'm not obligated. What about me? I want to go get to this tarot deck. I want to get to this fucking YouTube channel. I'm trying to make some money, bitch. I got kids. I got to get, you know, like, if someone got a problem because I got to handle mine, then that's on them. This person wanted you to really forget about your own self, like your goals, you know, unless it involved them. If it involved them, they had if it didn't involve them, they had a problem with it. So this is more about, like, what you got to do is that you got to focus on you. It's time to heal that people pleaser energy. Focus on what is going to please you. Don't navigate moving out of this connection on how and what, like, don't look to them to see how they're going to react. I don't give a fuck how these bitches are going to fucking react to these videos that I'm posting. I don't give a fuck. I don't care anymore. And that's how you should be. You shouldn't care if it's gonna piss them off, if it's gonna, like, you know, make them happy, or it doesn't matter. Like, these bitches are watching you. Yes, Page of Swords. These people are watching you, and you shouldn't give a fuck. You shouldn't give a fuck. Okay? And this is about you living the life that you want to live. Okay? Being who you want to be. Remember, let's not forget you already know who the fuck you are. Yeah, we're constantly evolving. We got to integrate. We got to do the major reflections. Four of Swords. Emperor. I said Emperor. Because, bitch, you about to be the Emperor. Once you get your mind right and understand, like, you pour into yourself and do this shadow work. And, you know, this is the hermit here. So it's like going within to do the deep reflection, to heal the people pleasing, and like figuring out like what pleases you. Once you do that, you will be the emperor. You gotta take care of your responsibilities. Fuck these bitches. Who cares? You know? This person is making it seem like you're a bad person for just focusing on your shit. Like, trying to elevate your life. You know? You are so brave. Keep growing. Keep going the way you do. Forbidden Forest. Bravery, persistence, redemption. You're brave. A part of you guys don't want to let go, or you're seeking to see how these people are going to react. Don't, babe. Like, it's not that serious. It should not be serious. The only thing that should be serious is if you are feeling liberated and free. And how they're going to let you be is you just being wild and free. Not giving a fuck, giving no fucks. Who cares? You know, what they're going to react. You know, how they're going to react. A lot of you guys want to speak truth. And they're just watching to see if you're going to speak some truth. Well, here's the truth. Here's my truth. Here's my truth. Okay? Breaking into bloom. True liberation, understanding. It's time to, and like when I'm in that time in my life when I was realizing like, damn, I feel so obligated to, like, and so concentrated on her emotions, because I understand, like, when I step away, when I focus, and then she's talking shit. When I focus on the YouTube channel, then it's like, oh, you're not doing this, and you don't go where, you know, it's just like, it was getting too much. Once I started noticing this shit, I started really, like, rebelling against it. I realized that it was toxic and dysfunctional in our relationship, that I don't need to check in with you, bitch. I don't need to. I got kids that I got to check in with. Like, I got goals, okay, and a career that I'm building. And so it's like, it's time. We're grown now, and you've been dealing with this people-pleasing energy for a long time. Okay, I'm running out of space. Let me clear my phone and continue. All right, so let's finish this up. I had to make space. I know it was getting low. Okay, so you got to make space for yourself in your life. You know, this is your life, and it feels like you're considering this person. That was probably the dynamic in this relationship, you know, and I don't know what this is. It might be that you want to be with a certain person. Maybe you want to hang out with certain people. Because this is about like being free, like just being authentic in your energy, like going places. You might want to go places, but then you're worried about like if they're there, you know, or like you might want to talk about things, express yourself about what has happened in this, you know, crazy relationship that you had with this person, you know, and you're like wondering how they're gonna feel, what are they gonna think, and what are they gonna say, and like who gives a fuck? Who cares? Stop thinking about them. Start thinking about you. Okay? You are blooming. It says sometimes you will break before you bloom, and I feel like this relationship, you know, you don't want to revert back. Even if you took some time and you stood up for yourself to exit out of this relationship, like, because I feel like a lot of you guys, when you exited out of this relationship, it was an act of choosing yourself. You did this for you, you know. It was you, again, asking yourself, what about me? What about me? What about how I'm being treated? How about what, you know, what about me? What about what I want, what I need out of this connection, you know? And I feel like it did break you in some type of way, but I'm seeing it as like a moth or like a butterfly, where it breaks down in order to like come back together. And you know, I think like when you're in that transformation, integration, transmutation kind of period, where you're breaking down things, you're analyzing things, and you're you know, you're integrating all of these things that you're learning about yourself and about the situation. Sometimes these old programs of like people pleasing and whatever it is. It could be, I think it's people pleasing for you, where it's summoned, it's coming up. Now you're thinking about how they're going to feel when you do this or do that, or when you go here, or, you know, when you start, it could be just, you know, this is about destiny swapping. So you're wondering like, oh, if I post this, how are they going to feel about it? Or, you know, if I start doing this, are they going to start copying me? Are they going to have like an issue with it? Like, you need to start just living your life for you. Start acting and being who you authentically are, and lead with your truth, no matter what they have to say about it, how they feel about it. This is not about them, you know? Don't revert back to these old programs that were running rapid in this relationship, okay? You've exited out, you know, integrating that lesson helped you leave this relationship. Now let's continue with choosing yourself, choosing your life, being yourself, okay? Being you, okay? Why am I shuffling these cards? I want to actually use the OG deck now to get more information on what you need to do, okay? Yeah, so, and like, you know, there's a smear campaign, so you might be like, oh, what are people gonna think about me, because they already, like, you know, been telling people how I am, and, you know, or, yeah, we talked about that time travel. Knew me who this. Knew me who this. Okay, that's a message right there. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. This is like evil eye. Okay. Left on red. You know, you could be wondering if like you could be feeling like this person could reach out to you. Maybe they have reached out to you. But you're just like, I don't even want to talk to this person. I don't want to like communicate. But how is that going to make me look? Like, how are they going to see me? How is it going to make them feel if I don't answer back to them? Leave their asses on red. If you don't want to communicate with anybody, don't communicate with them. Okay? I lied to you. Okay. So I feel like, you know, there's a lot of lies going on in this collective that I'm doing. There are a lot of liars. These people are liars. They smear, you know, campaign. They have a smear campaign out on a lot of you guys. So it's like you're realizing that this person lied to you, you know, and they might even want to say that to you, you know. They might even, that's what I'm saying, hearing for a small select few. But I think you need to take that into consideration to how, like, why are you even considering how this person feels when their whole personality, when their whole, like, it's a lie. They've lied to you so many times about who they are, about how they feel about you, what they're doing. Like, they've lied about themselves. I get paper. I get big paper, so I deal with big haters. Get to your bag. You know, get to your bag. You know, don't worry about what they're feeling. You know, maybe you're trying to make money. Maybe you're trying to, you know, work on something new, because there is this like new me kind of energy and this big picture kind of energy that I'm feeling. And you're just like worried about like these haters and what they think. Like you are in alignment with like big paper, big money, but it's going to take you not caring about what they think. Who cares what these people think, you know? It's stopping you. It says big picture here. So I feel like, you know, you need to think about the bigger picture here, and it doesn't really involve them. They're like a small little fracture over there in the corner, in the dark corners where they're peeping you, you know, with their evil eye. And they're very small. And you need to have that belief system and perspective of them, is that they're small. They're very small compared to you. You have a big picture, okay? You got a big picture that's going to bring you big money, okay? So what you need to do is do some reflection on self, because there's this new person emerging right now. I don't give a fuck how people feel. I don't even care how you guys feel about these fucking readings right now. I really don't care. And this is not to say that this is how I'm going to be reading for the time being, because this is not, I don't go like in depthly revealing the tea on my personal life. Like, I don't do that, but I was instructed by my guides to do that. And like I said, like, you know, what I was saying is that, like, I was instructed to do these readings because my guides were like, this is how we connect to you. And there are people out here dealing with this energy. It's not about the people that don't fuck with this energy, that don't understand it, that are not getting it. It's not about them. That's what my guides were saying to me, because I don't like getting this personal. But I'm being authentic in my readings because I am a reader and a healer that heals through talking about my experience. Maybe not as long and as, like, you know, in depth as what I'm doing here, but there's this new energy that is emerging within you. And you have to start purging out everything that is on top of that new version. That's, you know, if that makes sense. There's some digging that you're doing and you need to let it out because it's going to lead you to a bigger picture. You know what I mean? It's going to lead you to, like, having more abundance in your life. So maybe it's going to take you doing a little bit of time travel and reflection and maybe talking about the past. Like, these things that I'm talking about right now is not current in my life. I've been living peacefully the past year. I have been in peace. Thank God. Because I chose myself. Because I said, what about me? You know? But there's a lot on top of this new version of you, and you're kind of being called to do this deep reflection so that you can have a purge. And that purge is going to be like, I don't give a fuck who has a problem with what I'm talking about, where I'm going, what I'm doing. Like, that's the type of attitude that you have to be about, because that's going to help you get all of this shit out. And a lot of it is leaking. I hope it's like making sense, but it's linking back to your people pleasing issue. You know, we have the number 444, so your angel number 444. You need to just spend some time, you know, reflecting on the big picture and on, like, the past and, like, you, concerning you, you know. So I think that's it. I think that's all that I'm getting. I feel, it's just, I throw my ass back to see if he gonna catch it. That feels like a taunting kind of energy, honestly. It feels like a taunting. So it's like, you know, in this collective, there's a lot about, like, expressing shadow, getting to the shadow work. And shadow work, it could be about journaling and talking about, but also the shadow likes to come out and play. There's a part of you that doesn't want to give a fuck. I'm getting, like, a lot of Megan Thee Stallion kind of energy right now, where she's like, wah, 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 wah. Your time is up. Why aren't you clocking out? And I felt like it was really like a taunting kind of energy. And maybe that's, like, I feel like there's also this, like, egotistical version that wants to come out. You know, that was the last reading. Yeah, that was the last reading. But I did say Emperor in this reading. I did say Emperor. I was going to say Empress. Like, where's the Empress? That was the last pile. But I did say Emperor. So it's like, there's this, like, real ego energy that I'm feeling that wants to be expressed, because you are great. All of the people that are watching this reading, whichever pile you picked, you guys are really great. And that's the reason why people are copying you. That's why they're obsessed with you. But with you, number 3, particularly, you don't really see how great you are. And you're constantly thinking about how people are going to perceive you. And that is not how you're going to boss up, you know? And there's levels to this shit, you know? There's levels to it. But there's this energy of, like, just knowing you're the shit. I'm also hearing, like, can you just let me pop my shit? Like, and I'm hearing, like, Doja Cat saying, like, of course they're And it's just like the ego energy that I'm feeling. Like, she's like, of course they're comparing me to who is hottest. Like, they're comparing her to Nicki Minaj, you know, and she's just like, you know, I never gave a shit, bitch. You know, go stir the pot, something like that. Like, you just, there's a taunting kind of energy, like an egotistical energy that you need to start embodying. And like, of course, you got a big ego. Why? Like, let that ego shine. Let that shadow shine. Like, if you feel like the shit and you want to like shake your ass, taunt them, and you know, let them know like, yeah, I'm great. That's why the fuck you're copying me. That's why you did all of this unnecessary shit. It's because of how great I am. Like, there's that energy that I'm feeling. And I feel like a lot of you guys, when you are a people pleaser, it's hard to get into that fucking shit. Trust and believe. You know, I'm healing my people pleaser. I feel like I've gone a long way, and you guys could be like at the starting point of doing active healing, that I like to say in you know, my client readings, where it's one thing to do the shadow work, to do the journaling, and to like, you know, but when time shows up, when real time shows up and it asks you to change, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose to please them, or are you going to choose to please you? And right now I feel like you've done some of that, but it's also like on a more grander scale right now. Like, even when like it's like integrity, or like it's about like, who are you when they're not watching, or who are you when they are watching and you don't necessarily know that they're watching. Who gives a fuck? You're gonna be you regardless. That's what I'm feeling, number 3. So I hope that all makes sense. Yeah, check out the Stan Store. That's where you can book a reading with me. We have this spell going on. Watch the live June 13th. We're lighting this up. We're getting into our magic. Join us if you want to. Hit up the Stan Store to join this ritual. Okay, the hoodoo ritual that's happening on June 13th. Friday the 13th is going down. Basement. Okay, Friday the 13th. Guess who's playing Jason? Okay, join me. Okay, pile 3. I love you guys. Peace out.